Designs. Head on over to Facebook, Elwood Designs, on Twitter, Elwood Designs, and at Simrad Market at Alan Elwood to find yourself some great schemes to work with. Elwood Designs, always a place to help out the iRacing community since 2012 to make the paint schemes that you're envisioning. Thank you so much for being our title sponsor. As well, we want to say thank you to Lucky Duck Motorsports for being our qualifying grid sponsor. Lucky Duck Motorsports trying to help out the racing community. By joining the team, you've got opportunities to earn some money with your results, as well as trying to help out the drivers in the team. Thank you so much to Lucky Duck Motorsports. They've got 2 full teams of 4 out there on track, as they are such an incredible squad to be joining up and partnering with the WSSR Cup Series. If you want to learn more of also great ways that Lucky Duck helps out communities and charity, go check out Lucky Duck's Twitter at We Are Lucky Ducks, and on Instagram, Lucky Duck Motorsports. Taking his first pole of the season, the 8 machine of Brian McCann, finding himself with the quick speed here this evening to his outside. It's been the driver that's been second fiddle so many times this season, hoping for victory tonight. It's Vincent Sora in the 15. Driver looking for redemption here this evening.
Good luck.
As he has called that this will be his final.
Oh yeah, go get him.
In an iRacing league. Shane Tarian going to be starting in 3rd place and wants his redemption from last season. Jake Nichols trying to go for win number 5. Going to get it done. He'll start in 4th with Cedric Hunter 5th. John Forbes, who
I about accidentally unplugged my entire computer.
Flare 7 reacts in 6th place. The number 1 of Gavin Rogers will start in 7th, with Chuck Sweeting in 8th. 9th is Jan Van Laer, as well as in 10th is Larry Yingling, which if you look at the stats, Larry Yingling.
I was trying to pick up my little fan to put next to my wheel, and I gripped it wrong. I started juggling, just fell right on top of my the plug with the switch to turn everything off. Somehow did not flip.
11th place will be Matt Mirror making his return tonight here at Michigan. Jared Talmadge in 27 to his outside. Another fast car, got a lot of ground to make up. Ryan Kelly in the number 3 will be starting inside of row 7, and Douglas Newbigging to his outside of the number 77 in 14th. 15th place will be Ethan Smith in the number 99, and 00 Brian Noel in the 16th position. Ali Fonseca starting back in 17th.
I guess we can probably go
in the
almost
outside,
40 on
starting
fuel.
18th.
I know 36.
Thomas Green and Ben Keeney will round out the
new tire
20, and then you have Seth Knoll. Looks like he'll be starting from the pits. Would have started 21st, and Zach Hall rounding out the back of the field in 22nd.
Out in chat, you got Hazardous, who's going to be letting us know about the fact of there's a chance that Seth Knoll may not be racing due to
this should be interesting.
This car track combo not going to be running here this evening. So 21 drivers going to be out there on track for the initial start. We'll see if Seth takes off from pit road or not. Also, for the start of this race, track temp, weather going to be a factor to watch out for. It is 102 degrees for the track temperature, 74 degrees ambient temperature. See how the wind affects it. We are in the middle of the day. How does this track cool off? Does it heat up? We'll find out throughout this race. We got 120 laps in total to run this evening. No stage break, no fast repairs, 4 extra sets of tires. The fuel window expected to be 35 to 37 laps based off where you run in the field, utilizing the draft or not. But tonight, we get ready for race number 8 of the season for the WSSR Cup Series, presented by Elwood Designs. The Michigan 120 is underway. That's Vincent Sora in turn number 1. How does the field react with the tight machines, or can they handle the corner as they head down into turn number 1?
Turn 1, Brian McCann will be definitively in the lead as he's going to slide right up in front of Vincent Sora and take wasting any time. He's going to move up 1 position from his starting spot, and he's going to challenge Vincent Sora into turn 3. Not do it very aggressively, going to back off a little bit, but there is still 2 wide, 3 wide, almost 4 wide further back in the field. The top 3 in line and ready to check out as Brian McCann will lead the opening lap.
And just a couple of folks to the outside wall off the exit of the corner. Turn 4, lap 1 in the books. And Brian McCann leads.
I'm in your neck of the woods, ain't I, Derek?
And for Brian McCann, the one stat he doesn't want to hear, the driver that has gotten the pole has yet to win here at Michigan in the WSSR Cup Series. Can the 8 shake that off? We'll find out as he's trying to pull away from the rest of the field as Vincent Sora, Jake Nichols battle side by side for second place, as well as John Forbes, Shane Terrian. They're having their same do-si-do from last season, carrying on here into season 12 as Nichols almost clear for the lead. Clear for second place as they're watching the leader kind of scamper away.
Clear for the lead is almost an accurate statement for Jake Nichols because we always see him up there racing for the lead, but not trying to get around John Ford or Vincent Sora there. My apologies for the second place. Will clear him, going to slide right up in front of him. That'll put Jake Nichols clearly in second place. Vincent Sora's now got to chase him down, but they've got to chase down the number 8 as they had a little bit of a scuffle in the back there as the 98 of Ben Keeney all the way down to the apron there, but they keep it straight and keep on racing.
It's all good.
A little bit of contact for the 99 of Ethan Smith and Ben Keeney. They're both going to be able to keep it safe, still connected with the draft, so their race isn't completely thrown away in an instant, but obviously contact you don't want to make. It's going to be something to watch out for as this run. Front tire going to disintegrate as the run goes on, as the Hello Kitty Pink 13 machine up into the wall for a second. It'll continue on forward, but the middle of the pack showing the magic of Michigan. There's so much space and everyone's utilizing it.
Yeah, there's space all over this track, and you can see it right there. Right, great shot down the backstretch. You see all the drivers any line they possibly can, kind of all over the track, 2 and 3 wide, all the way back. Doing a great job as Cedric Hunter almost gets up there into Vincent Sora into the door out of 4 there, but Vincent Sora, I don't know if he is saving or if he's got some speed to find. He seems to slowly be backing off the pace.
Backing off, but you don't want to fall right into the clutches of this Hornet's nest because drivers have been really tight on entry. Different turning zones of when they're deciding to turn into the corners because of how tight this track is. There's different ways you can attack it. You can go extremely wide and just let the car coast around. Trying to get to that yellow line. Other drivers trying to stay in the middle. And with all those different decisions, some drivers are getting into one another just on the entry of these corners, which you got to be careful of. And one driver who's going to be having trouble bringing out our first caution of the day, it's Jan Van Leer in the 10 machine going for a spill off the exit of turn 4. And it was actually contact in the center of the corner. We haven't seen that just yet.
Yeah, contact in the center of the corner, sends the number 10 time machine of Jan Van Leer around. Almost had it saved a little bit, but the car decided to angle back up onto the track and it rolled up there. That's what brings out our cautions right around here. See what he is. What happened out of turn 2, side by side with Larry Yingling, it looks like. Going to try to slot in, doesn't have the room, so go into turn 3 here. We'll have to see at the middle of the turn who he gets in contact with and what sent him around.
Hey, Brian.
Looks like it might
not too
be
much.
The 27 machine.
Out here enjoying fresh air.
It looks like he was getting a little loose or tight and had to slow down. Talmadge did not.
Where's the pace car at?
Slow down from the number 10 machine and just gets up into his right rear bumper, spins him around.
You can kind of see those lines go all the way around this track. Those are the seams. Looks like for the 10, he got right on the seam. That's what he snaps and moves. And there's the contact on the 27 of Jared Talmadge. Just nowhere to go for the 27 machine. For the 10 goes around, and luckily there's enough space for the 10 to have those types of slides off the exit of turn 4.
Oh, can they make it to the end from here?
To the pit wall.
I didn't even think about fuel
after his spill, so continue to race on. Not the contact you want, but this does give it a chance for some drivers to change up the strategies. Pit road has been called for majority of the field.
What would that be?
McCann, John Forbes, Larry Yingling, they stay out, but led by Jake Nichols into pit road most of the field. We'll see if this is tires, just fuel. Everyone has 4 extra sets of tires in pit road, and the 73 is taking a set now.
It's close to being a 2-stopper from here.
I feel like he thinks he needs some tires to be able to get around these guys, but he is going to lose a ton of track position. As it looks like everybody else thinks the 2 tires are fuel only. So
yeah, I don't think anybody's taking tire here. So they're trying to do a fuel run.
The 16th position.
So hopefully there's another caution.
He's going to have to work his way through now, and he's back in the Hornets. That's where you don't want to be.
Absolutely not. And for Jake Nichols, he is one of 3 drivers.
I didn't want
going to be taking a chance.
Give up the lead.
96 on the right.
And then everybody stay out. And I didn't even think about fuel, so
he will go into the pits. But you know, for the 73,
let's see, they came back out in 8th back, so
tires. It's going to be a good.
As hard as it is to pass in these cars,
if you take the bottom, McCann,
at the time
I
of
can
that
somehow get
caution.
second out of this whole
Those
position.
5 laps on difference on tires really going to show here as everyone gets ready.
Would the bottom be
to
best?
Take off and
I don't know.
go in an instant as you're watching the 32 on his pit stop on.
I'll try
was
it.
going
I'll try
for.
bottom.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these strategies play off of. I mean, again, we have no stage break, so it's all a fuel game of what these drivers are playing. So they know something's up, or, you know, they're testing something out, see what they can do for later. You know, they might not be helped out right now, but that could be a decision that helps them out later in the race for how much fuel they need to take, or if they even need to take fuel at certain times. So, hey, we'll have to see what this strategy plays out for those drivers and see if it pays out in the end.
I want to say hello to everyone.
They're talking about switching the car.
Right now,
nobody likes this car.
If you do a countdown, do you go on one or go?
The 99 of Ethan Smith, and also
I'll say 3, 2, 1, gas pedal.
Out there, get some J. You get some J.
I won't actually say gas pedal. That's what I'm saying. I'm 3, 2, 1, then I'll hit the gas pedal.
Rooting on for that Texas Speed Racing team. We also got Tyler Wren out there. Hello, everybody. As interesting note, of the 7 drivers that decided
there'll be a delay in my voice, though, right?
And Richard, that is a shocking one to see for the driver that just
by the time you hear it.
For the slide burnt off
a little bit, but not much.
Maybe you wanted. You'd think you'd take a set there, but he's got.
I'll give you a preview here.
Worn out tires.
So 3, 2, 1, go.
For a later part of the race, but I mean,
to those on the top lane, Kenny is
egregiously. It wasn't
6th.
super hard. So maybe it feels like he's got
Bottom on the bottom.
The tires still, you know, they're going to cool off a little bit from what they were, being that they were going so slow for the caution here. So he's not really.
Actually, Larry, I'm just going to go at the line as soon as I can.
See how much he can keep up with these guys in front of him, or if he's going to fall like a rock after that slide.
As the base car gets ready to pull off into pit road, it's Brian McCann, John Forbes Jr., as well as Larry Yingling, Jared Thomas, John Fonseca, Ben Caney, and Jan Van Leer. Old tires, can they stop the drivers that are 8th on back with the freshies? Let's find out as McCann out the rest of the field. Well, you thought they were scattered, being 3-4 wide before. This is time to see some madness, as already drivers are ducking it down. Almost the apron is Douglas Newbiggin in that 77. But on the outside, Vincent Sora rocket shipping his way into 6th place already from 8th to 6th in just 1 corner.
Yeah, phenomenal move. Those new tires are really doing wonders for those guys. But, I mean, Douglas Newbiggin, like you were saying, down there on the apron making moves down there, that's kind of like his MO. Almost every track we see that doesn't have, like, massive banking.
So far, I'm going to back out of it.
That apron work helps rotate that car now and then, try to get, you know, upset the car a little bit, get it rotated.
Yep.
Loosen the car up, free it up a little bit.
Yep. Did you take tires?
Better
I did. Okay, yeah, I did take tires.
Inside line right there down on the yellow.
Attack mode is on.
It was worth a shot. Maybe we get a long run.
Bit of this
Yeah, for sure.
battling for the lead, John Force Jr.
I wasn't really sure how much I was pushing.
For himself again. Not everyone took tires. Only
We about wrecked on that backstretch.
took tires for themselves. As Larry Yingling.
Did you get tired?
It's gonna be 3 wide.
He hit me.
For a quick moment. And now, Talmadge, he finds himself making contact for that top spot. Coming bringing out our last caution. Now challenging for the top spot as we're 3 wide, battling for 2nd place. We're trying to move away as Larry Yingling stuck in the middle. McCann on the outside. Ali Fonseca just watching the wall in front of him as Talmadge slides in front of the
Dirty air.
It makes the attempt for 2nd place, still fighting, but it's McCann that's on top.
McCann doing a great job making the momentum work on the outside line. They're going to clear Jarrett Talmadge, and now he's got to get up to John Forbes and try to make the pass around him to keep the lead. He had a very substantial.
Yeah, it feels like I'm in the middle of the sea.
Came out. This restart, a few drivers might have gotten to the outside wall out of 4 there, but that restart really upset Brian McCann's momentum. He almost got passed by like 4 cars. But he's challenging John Forbes now again for the lead as they're door-to-door going into turn 1.
And if you remember back to last season, this was the race that John Forbes door-banged into Shane Darian to take the win. And after that contact, during the interview, said, I'm going to race this way. It's on you to race me the same way. And Brian McCann taking note, but it's Jared Talmadge that just goes with the wild dive bomb move, trying to slice his way in front of the 8. Almost enough momentum to take the lead as he'll stay side by side with John Forbes. They'll stay side by side, trying to side draft the 27 to keep himself close. Another dive bomb move expected from the 27. Phoenix stick as he goes down low, cutting the distance, and has the nose ahead, but not enough space. And instead, it's the drivers from behind that you got to be careful of as Larry Yingling tried to build some momentum for the 67. Not enough. But as they continue to bicker back and forth, lingering in the background, it's the 73 of Jake Nichols with the freshest of tires as he waits for a mistake to bounce and move forward in this top 10.
Jake Nichols has moved his way through the traffic pretty easily as he is now sitting back there in the 9th position. We have the number 2 drop in here. He's going to be looking to make a pass here soon to get around him and keep charging his way forward. But impressive work from the number 73 machine as he is working his way to the front and back.
Making these moves forward. The other 2 drivers that took a set of tires, that is Thomas Green in 13th, Chris Stitz in 15th. They really the fresh rubber, but just showing maybe they needed a few more laps to see the wear and tear, as currently the field, the draft, it is keeping everyone attached at this current time as John Forbes continues to linger up front. The driver last season that won the race just leading 1 lap. Well, he's led a few, and that's going to be a little bit of a confidence booster for the 7 machine, knowing I've gotten the lead, I've defended a teammate that was trying to go for the pass, a couple of other drivers. This 7 is holding strong.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job keeping the lead there in front of his teammate of Jared Talmadge and keeping Brian McCann back behind him, preventing him from being able to make a move to try to get back up front. And, you know, like you said, these cars are all still stacked with each other. And, you know, it's tracks like this, you know, in Indianapolis next week, these big tracks that require draft really to be extremely fast. I mean, you can still be fast without the draft, but down the straightaways, you're kind of going to suffer, make it up on the turns. But it might be boring for the drivers sometimes because you're doing a good job making a show for us with a lot of passing, but it keeps all the drivers close to each other, and it keeps for some wild moments and exciting racing.
Yeah, and you know what we're seeing right now, this is Brian McCann going to get a little bit too close to Larry Yingling there for a second as those Cody Glincock's music drivers careful not to get into one another too much there. But the draft is actually shockingly not as powerful as what we've seen in other vehicles. We've got a little bit more attuned with, Richard, that this is keeping drivers where you might be trying to go for a pass by yourself. It may not keep the pass, but just having one driver behind you gives a chance as they're 4 wide for second place. Down into turn number 1, Vincent Sora, Ollie Fonseca, McCann, Talmadge, and it's Fonseca that slices his way. Now keeping it side by side for second.
Yeah, Vincent Sora knew that they were 4 wide, had a bad feeling about it. He's the one that decides to back it out on the inside there. Let those guys fight it out, but Ollie Fonseca, fantastic move for himself, but he's getting challenged back again from Brian McCann as now Vincent Sora try to make that ground back up. But fantastic work for those drivers going forward.
I feel like they're killing their tire doing that.
Kept it off each other, kept it clean, and made some really awesome passes.
And with all the movement, Nichols now going to be challenging for 6th place. And they'll just continue to ride on the outside. Douglas Newbegin trying to attempt to follow with the tire tracks of the Lucky Duck Motorsport teammates. As everyone just the exit of these corners going to get more and more dramatic as the run progresses on with how tight this window is on the track.
Ooh, Larry
front is just
taking that air off my spoiler.
As Donovan Lair gets close to Nichols there in that moment through 3 and 4, but everyone's going to be questioning the exit of these corners on, do I even have the tires to accelerate out, or am I just going to be going into the wall, going into another driver? The questions continue to loom on as for front runners in most of the field, they've been out there on track for 19 laps on these set of tires.
Yeah, it's really difficult when a track runs really tight, no matter what car you're really in, because it's hard to really...
Well, that was scary.
That's with Cedric Hunter! He gets a little loose out of 2, and then gets hit in the rear end, sends him around and nose first into the outside wall.
And luckily didn't get into the outside wall as aggressive.
7 lap pressure tires didn't really do anything at all.
Pile in. We'll see how much damage he collected. As it was Shane Terry and Cedric Hunter that get into
that restart constant lead.
And just a small little bump. This is kind of shades.
Are we sure they took tire?
Don't be deceived by this.
Then got the Gen 4 engine.
You're right, they might not
Just
have.
one small little taps, and you were seeing drivers get spun around constantly.
Terrible here.
13 coming out of turn 2, up a little too close to the wall, let up. The car
No, this is
a little
like the only good
loose,
track
tried to
for it.
collect it. Shane Terrian was not expecting the speed difference from the 13
This is good.
Kitty Machine and himself, and was just had no time to truly react. Got into the rear end, sends the 13 up into the wall, and he does have, like I said, some pretty significant nose damage. He should be able to get that repaired pretty quickly. Great view right there. You saw the sparks of the 13 machine getting into the wall, scuffing off the speed. Shane Terrian did everything he could to not get into it, but just not enough time to react.
And I did it.
Now the field's got a decision with us now being on lap 20. You expect everyone to come in, and you're taking your first set if you haven't already. I think this is going to be curious for Nichols, Green, and Stitz, who already used their first set. Do you take your second here on lap 20? Because this feels like a much more of a gain if you take tires now compared to
take tires, fuel.
Yeah, I expect every driver that did not pit that first caution is going to come
I can't
down and
take tires this time
now to get some fuel. As for all the other drivers, it's going to be interesting to see what their decision is. I mean, I'm sure some drivers took 2 tires last pit stop. They might come in and take 4. I mean, the guys that already took 4 tires, they may take 2. So right now, it's a big decision on what every single one of these drivers are deciding on doing, as all drivers have came down pit road to get some service.
Everyone into pit road to get their service done.
78, 83 rights.
It's expected.
I was pretty much ripping the top the whole time.
In fuel. Continue to keep our
84,
eyes
84.
on Nichols, Green, Stitz. Shane Terrian goes a little bit too far in his box, has to back up. But the reason why we're keeping a note on
87, 88.
already took a set of tires. Who's topping off? Who's
I take
not?
tires, so we'll see how that goes.
Stops up. Jake Nichols stops off fuel save for Stitz, so they're going to be on a 13-lap difference on their tires compared to the rest of the field. That all took 4
So we got
tires
some
and fuel.
2 tire takers.
I mean, that's
Top 3
the,
took 2
strategy
tires.
call we were talking about earlier decided to come in.
Top 3 took 2.
Instead, since they already had some newer tires, and that's what's going to benefit Jake Nichols.
Did that freight the car up?
And all them. They're now
Is it tight
going
up there?
to lead the pack
I've been up there.
on this restart in the 1-2 position.
I've been neutral.
Great work by
Neutral.
them. Strategy pays off, and they'll lead the field.
And now this puts the field.
It's one of the top 3 me because I didn't take any tires.
The fuel number we were given was around
Oh.
35 to 57 laps of fuel. It was a full green stint. And looking at this race, we got
Could be a 2-stopper from
maybe
here.
less than 100 when we go green. I would say we're in a 2-stop situation here for the rest of this race for everyone, which kind of helps the mentality, because I know coming into this race, if we had stayed green all the way through, it was going to be a decision of, do you stretch the fuel out to make it a 2-stop? Is it a 3-stop? I think that would have been fun. Now it's equal footing. Everyone knows the strategy from here on out.
Yeah, everyone knows the strategy, and it's going to be interesting to see. Like you said, two to three stops left for this race. I mean, they aren't even a sixth of the way through. Actually, we are just now getting over a sixth of the way through this race. They still have just under 100 laps to go. So, I mean, they've got a lot of time to figure out what strategy.
So far, the race has been
better
decent.
than I think it is, but I don't have high hopes.
2 stops for the rest of the time. That should
I thought
be
we would get
all
more
they
separated
need
than
to
we
make it
were.
to the end. So I'm just going to see
We're-
who can
we're
save
like
their
draft
tires
locked.
the most to be able to have some momentum when the pit stops are coming.
Cedric Hunter spent an extreme amount of time in pit road after his contact, getting close to that outside wall. 13 was in pit road for
We need some
I think it's
long
great time
run.
for the sponsor, you know.
19 seconds. James Perry and Zach Hall, they stayed for an extended amount of time.
So the front row and fourth place John are teammates,
Second
See who's what on tire saving.
Nice.
on fuel.
along with Tom
that
Mitchman
extra lap. We'll see
McCann.
how that maybe helps the 9 or the 32.
I'm gonna lucky duck
in
sandwich
the
here.
field, but up front, top 3: Thomas Green, Jake Nichols, Chris
98
Stitz.
divided by
Taking this chance in this gamble
So we
early
gotta go
on. You'll love
30.
to see a gamble.
3 laps here.
We'll see how well this gamble works out and what the tire difference is with 13 laps difference on it compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah, the tire difference is going to be very interesting to see. We saw what new tires was able to do. Jake Nichols was able to slice his way up through the field into the top
wheel spin.
5 almost before that caution. So new tires might be something that these drivers further in the back, like that of Brian McCann, to be able to make it back up through the field pretty quickly.
How do they
Oh, I was late.
Let's find out. Thomas Green going to be the control vehicle here for this restart.
Real late.
For race 8 of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Design. Season 12 is back underway. Great launch. He'll move up to the outside row with Jake Nichols as well. Chris Ditz on the inside. Working to place himself And how aggressive does the rest of the
Stop,
field
Larry.
want to be? They were already going 2-3 wide and one. Some are already stacking it 3 wide off the exit of the corner. As Ollie Fonseca, not the best run for himself, they'll falter back in line as Green, Nichols, and now Nick has got 4. Nolan, go forward.
For all of Fonseca, he had to lose a little bit of time because he almost got pinched up into Jared Talmadge. Tight racing coming out of turn 2 for them, so he's going to lose a little bit of ground as well as they all single file. But John Forbes, he is now challenging Jake Nichols for that second position. Those new tires
It's much better up here.
really paying off, going to slide right up in front of the number 73, and now his sights are set for the leader of Thomas Green, and Brian McCann is making moves and trying to move his way back up through the field as well.
And also Larry Yingling in the 67. Third place now is running line the outside row.
Needs to get tight right at the end.
Middle of the pack is where the cars are for that battle for 10th place. As Brian McCann into the outside wall, a little bit of shimmy, forcing everyone to have to go low.
I'm going backwards.
Rogers just making their way through the inside as they continue to stay 3 wide. Down Rogers just looking a little bit uncomfortable. A little bit more space to maybe arc his way into the corner, but currently runs in 8th position as everyone tries to get in line and utilize the drag.
Yeah, looks like it's just going to have typical Michigan racing right now. Everyone's kind of getting single file line, only really making moves. And when it comes to making the pass, you've got to make that pass quick. Otherwise, you're just utilizing the resource you have that's limited about those tires. So Gavin Rogers there, you see he lost quite a bit of ground as Ollie Fonseca's making a move on him. Is they're 2 wide again for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th there. Followed out pretty quick as Vincent Sora is now moving his way up, trying to get around the 73 and the 67 to make his way up into the top 3.
Trying to become the next driver in line to try to pose a threat for the lead position. There's a couple of drivers bobbing way back and forth. That's going to be the 00. Brian Noel, who parks back the outside wall, but up front, H. John Forbes.
It happened to that guy on the outside there as well.
And we'll take
Same thing that happened to me.
over his teammate of Thomas Green, Lucky Duck Motorsports. Going to be 1-2, but Vincent Sora wants to shake up that party as the 15. Going to be the second car with freshest of tires, trying to push his way forward.
Yeah, Vincent Sora is going to make the move now down the bottom side of the track by Thomas Green.
Boy, they're going to wreck.
Able to get up to John Forbes and challenge him for the lead, and Gavin Rogers behind them. He's way low on the 3 wide situation. Up through also. He's trying to have a good race week as well. It's been a while since we've seen Gavin try and go for a win. But Gavin doing everything he can. He's trying to get past Ollie Fonseca and Douglas Moving. He's stuck in the middle of 3
Just trying to talk. My mic was muted. I was telling you to take it, Ryan. My bad.
You're good. I was trying not to put you in a bad spot.
As every lane is going to be utilized so far here at Oakland.
I was like, there's nowhere to go for this
A
guys.
thing that we were curious about,
Yeah.
how tight this vehicle was by themselves. We weren't sure if they were really going to be raced this spread out, but everyone's searching for the clean air, looking for space. And Douglas Newbegin forcing the issue to try to get underneath some drivers, but for the 77, it looks so spectacular on the move he's going for on the entry of the corner. It's the center off where he doesn't have really the space to throttle up. So curious if we can. It looks like they finally gave enough space. Douglas Newbegin now going to move up into 7th place for the 77.
Great work from Douglas Newbegin and Gavin Rogers, finally able to get around. I know these drivers are probably suffering about how tight this car is at this track, just kind of being a plow box for them. But, I mean, it's forcing the drivers to find new lines to keep that nose in clean air to get it to turn. But this is producing some very good racing. You see a lot of different lines that are working for everybody. Runs, and they're making these passes, getting side by side pretty much this entire run. So it's fantastic work for these drivers, regardless how difficult that this car might be to drive over.
See the full change up. Thomas Green now starts to falter backwards. Our top 7, fresh rubber, and now trying to battle against one another. Top 4. Inside, trying to hold back. Vincent Sora puts the heavy pressure on the inside group.
I picked it wrong lane every time.
Look at his lips saying this is the opportunity. As a hard block, Vincent Sora down to the 8. Make sure he gets underneath the 7 machine heading into turn 3. Able to complete the pass. Forbes now has to get in line, and Talmadge I think a little bit confused. And no biggie. And Fonseca makes slight contact in the center 3-4. Into the wall, though. It's going to be.
This ain't going to work on the exit of this turn.
Great move from Vincent Sori. He's able to get around John Forbes, and Talmadge is now going to try and follow suit and get around his teammate in second place.
Please work, please work.
For the lead, actually, as he dives into the turn underneath Vincent Sora. Going to slide up in front. Vincent Sora might have a little bit of a run. He's just going to follow in line. They are still 3 wide racing. Top 5 position there. Ollie Fonseca, Brian McCann doing a great job holding off Gavin Rogers. So Douglas Kubik has made it for position.
This stint seems so much more aggressive than the first 20 laps of this race.
I got him on this exit here if I can just do it clean.
To press themselves to go forward. I think one of those change-ups could be if you could bring it the temp has slightly changed from the beginning. I think a lot of drivers try to set it's back on. Let's save our equipment. And maybe they saw on this when they looked at their tires when they entered pit road. Maybe they were being a little bit too generous.
Yeah, I think I figured it out. I think I'm doing it better than they are.
Has risen. Those are going to be counteractive things if you're pushing more on this vehicle and the track temp's hotter.
Yeah,
As long as I don't get wrecked.
Pay attention to how hot this track is getting, because the hotter this track gets, the more you're going to wear those tires out. So it looks
Definitely doing turn 1 better than they are.
20 laps, which these tires are going to leave them. They're going to lose life with these tires a lot quicker. They've got to pay attention to that if they're looking for some long run pace. But I mean, we'll have to see. Jake Nichols is the one that's really fallen quite far back at the moment. Jake Nichols back in the 18th position on those tires. He's kind of falling back. Maybe he's trying.
This is why we need that long run.
Just 13 laps per tires is just not helping.
They were falling back after 5 laps, and I think just being swamped really doesn't help him, as he's going to be falling back with Zach Hull and a few others. But up front, it has been a Hail Mary throw by each driver. 3 wide passes have been going on back and forth, and now Brian McCann is back in the mix, our pole sitter, trying to find an opportunity for him to pass for 3rd place as Jared Talmadge went from I'm challenging for the lead to I gotta defend for 3rd as the 8 makes the move on the outside. Douglas Newbegin trying to make his name seen even more on the inside for the 77. Ollie Fonseca, Gavin Rogers, our top 7 all within a second of one another. When you can see that if one driver makes a mistake, everyone else behind him trying to find a way to pounce on that decision as the one trying to go low to get by this guy that Douglas Newbegin.
Yeah, all these drivers are driving really smart, honestly, trying to defend and attack at the right times. I mean, it's crazy. It's like watching an automotive boxing match. They are throwing haymaker passes as many times as they possibly can. It just feel like they know that they have to get in front of drivers while they can, while there's life in these tires, because once they get further in these runs and these tires kind of disappear from them, I think passes are going to be really hard. But Ollie Fonseca doing a great job defending against Gavin Rogers. He's also going to get passed by Ryan Kelly. And Jan Van Leer has got a really good run on him as well.
Jan trying to make his move forward. Pat Meir, who got knocked out of the top 16 at points after missing last week's race. Runs that 10th place spot, looking for mistakes to be made. And one of those drivers that made a mistake last time exiting out of 2, Jared Talmadge slamming the wall in 4th position. Good here as the drivers head down into turns 1 and 2, but exit of turn 2 has been a rough spot. And it seems like at least one driver is hitting that outside wall. How many more can make it off the exit of the corner? And that's probably the cleanest run we've seen so far. Who still is not able to make the pass on Vincent Sora. Sora to his outside. The 7 trying to stick to that yellow line, but not able to really stick there. He'll rub up into the 15. And Vincent Sora got to be careful as the 7 wiggles. Here's Brian McCann, the pole sitter, is in the mix.
McCann back to the front, trying to make the moves to get back to where he started. But you saw there, John Forbes had a little loose out of 4 there, and I'm wondering if Vincent Sora had...
That was the strategy of taking the air off my nose there.
Trying to pinch and take away John Forbes' exit, but John Forbes was not having it. He kind of forced himself up the track, forcing Vincent Sora up, and some huge contact further.
I don't think we can take tire here.
Machine spinning on the inside. Caution number 3.
And he
16 laps.
Yeah, dude, he's a helicopter.
Wall, Matt Meir doing a little bit
3 over the wall.
Circular burnouts, and
You take tire here?
contact with Jan Van Leer getting into the outside wall. The 72 just nowhere to go.
That was my fault.
And hard contact for the 72.
80 laps.
I think it's early to take it on the side, right?
2. The 10 gets into the wall.
I think we're going to have to
He
save.
just nowhere to go. It ultimately goes
Yeah,
for
I don't think I'm gonna take
a
any.
spin to slow down the momentum.
I don't know. It's a
Takes it off the
tough
wall.
call.
Yeah, that is some fantastic wheelmanship right there from the 72, getting into the game,
Yeah, it is.
staying out of it, brakes and turning.
Because we can't do a one stopper. It's still a two stopper.
Minimal based on what his original contact was, but that is still some pretty heavy.
You
damage
could
on the
take a set and still
Yeah,
get.
stay out last time.
72 machine for Matt Muir.
Yeah, like 14 lap order tires.
Turn two, he sees
They just
number
fell
10
to
get
the
up on the
back.
wall, tries to go
We just
low,
did like
but it just
16,
kind of
17 laps.
trying to collect his own self, just drives into
Well,
the
two,
path of the
if we
number
pit here, how many
72.
laps will be left? Well,
Great
2
work
sets.
from Matt
So it'll be
to
like
keep that out of the
50-50.
wall.
I think it'll be a
Well,
two
that
stopper.
one ticker to being commentator curse to Matt Muir tonight. Just cheered on how well he was doing. And the next
I think I want to save a set.
Maybe,
I just feel like it's too
yeah.
early.
I don't know.
caution of the day. I mean,
Yeah, it'll be.
I've already proven I can go through the field
madness
think.
all around. I mean,
on new tires, so
Never
the
mind.
power's just too
Feeling.
strong when you try to just cheer.
Be
on
just short.
drivers.
Yeah, be a few no miles. tires.
Kind of
Why
do
not?
have a lot of power up here in the booth. We can see the
I'm
commentators.
talking myself out of
doing
it.
a very good job all day.
Yeah.
everybody's going in.
Always going to be that one. And they get
Are y'all
caught up
taking tire?
literally in the same moment into an
Nah,
incident.
no.
So it's just a curse
I have
we have
to.
to deal with. And Sam, you just kind of have it all the time.
I hate. So I'm like, you're having a great day, and then they're out of the race, and that great day is smothered in an instant. As drivers entering pit road, everyone goes in. Now the question is, who's willing to gamble on just taking fuel? Who could take 2 tires? Who's taking 4? Is it 4 for everyone? As again, drivers are given 4 extra sets of tires to work with in pit road this evening. Some have already used 1. Some expected to take their second.
So they took tires because I went through my pit stall.
Still have
Uh-oh.
quite a bit of race
Larry
to go,
didn't.
at least
81, 83?
before this race is over for some drivers.
78.
Well, I heard that over the radio. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Gonna be one of those critical moments.
So we're gonna get
of
shuffled to the back hard
a senior
here.
set of
A dead and
tires
dead.
where you had set on this is a 2.
You take tires,
stop
McCann?
Still.
No, y'all talked me out of it.
Yeah, still a 2-stop strategy call.
Are we the only ones that did?
But you know, one of the
Yeah, I
things
think everybody else took
Brian
tire.
McCann actually missed his
Oh,
pit
well.
box, and instead
took
of backing up, Brian McCann pulled forward, then stopped, then had to back up again. So Brian McCann lost a lot of time on pit road during that pit cycle there.
I reckon that-
Damn, the
I choose a
broadcaster
tire.
saw that.
Okay.
Good position there, trying to get out in front of as many people as he
I'm gonna
could.
go back down and fill it up while I'm in the back.
Double take to go backwards for himself as his time was over 10 seconds in pit road. Fuel only for himself, and a majority of the field going to be taking.
Couldn't get it in
fuel only.
reverse.
The drivers who took tires going to be led by John Forbes in 10th place. Taking tires for themselves, Jan Van Leer.
How bad are we gonna get run over here?
Still sit in pit road, getting damage repair for themselves.
We're gonna find out.
But here's gonna be that critical
I
moment.
think a lot of people.
You take a set
Go
of
tires.
tires.
I mean, Vinny,
Is this gonna work on your?
what position were you in, McCain, when you entered
forward?
pits?
And really, from 9th on back,
Third,
taking this set
but
of tires.
I went through my pit stall and messed up.
If we stay
but still beat,
green, we're expecting
Sora
a
out.
Change of guard.
So
of
I
the
think you
lead
got tire.
position As Ryan Kelly, Shane Tarian going to be our top 2 getting ready for this restart.
Yeah, it's Shane Terry and Ryan
I think it's just
Kelly,
4 of us on old tire here.
for this restart. Brian McCann actually up there still in the 3rd position. I guess he got a benefit there from drivers taking tires and him only taking fuel. So he's still going to be up there and defend his positions. But again, those newer tires behind.
Yeah,
those
one more
guys,
caution.
they
We're
were
looking
running
good,
for
though.
So long. I think those
Yeah,
new
one extra
tires will
set.
definitely be able to get the momentum and have the speed to get around these.
Yeah,
guys
I like the
fairly
idea of
quick.
having an extra set because it's only lap 40 right now. We ain't even halfway yet. So
Give McCann a countdown. You guys need the biggest.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. I'll go right in the start.
Rubble off the exit of turn
box.
2 into the
10-4.
outside wall.
Are you the leader, Ryan?
Yep, I'm the lead on the
All right.
outside.
The
All right.
machine and spinning that on the backstretch to bring out the caution. Change up of drivers. Our top going to be 8. Decided to just take fuel. 9th on back, taking 4 tires. And
I have no idea how this is going to handle just on fuel.
Here, a couple of drivers topping off as well. Going to be Chuck Sweet and Thomas Green.
oh, we know tight.
As well as Chris Ditz. All
Me didn't go too well.
Fuel to get a little bit of
Good luck.
extra. Try to turn this race into potentially
We're getting
a
close.
one
Here we go.
stop from here on out if we stay green and green. Let's see whose strategy is going to work out here. Right on board with the 3 on the outside of the front row. We go green. Ryan Kelly hits the loud pedal. And we're green once again for the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. Ryan McCann wants to get that lead position back quickly for himself. as now the field scattering.
Damn it, no grip.
Side 2, 3, sometimes 4 wide deeper in the field.
I'm just gonna go as hard as I can.
Yeah, ditto.
Looks chaotic right off the restart. Everyone trying to make the moves as quick as they can. Douglas Newbigging almost cutting off the 0-0 there, but they were able to keep themselves off each other. But
Should probably pass me faster.
here as he lunges forward, trying to make the pass to get further ahead. He's going to be in 4th position. Shane Tarian falling back. Ryan Kelly has done a great job. He is maintaining up front, but being challenged by Brian McCann right now as they go into turn 1.
I can only make the side work.
Up front, trying to become the first
Same.
driver in WSSR history.
There's a weird way to do turn 1 and outrun everybody doing it.
Oh, no driver that the Catapult has been able to hold on to victory lane. As Zach Paul have a little trouble. The 32, he'll falter back in line, watching some of the madness ahead of him. Again, Zach's watching the drivers who just got fresh rubber, bustling their way forward. The first driver that took tires, Jared Tallman, getting in 5th place. 6th place is going to be John Forbes, Ali Fonseca in 7th. They're the head Chargers moving forward as Zach Paul, one of those that decided to just take fuel. That's just watching everyone scatter their way around.
Yeah, he's just kind of a sitting duck with all the fresh tires around him, but he's still doing a fantastic job keeping the car as quick as he possibly can, stay in front of everybody. But Ali Fonseca, he has had an impressive run today. He has not fallen out of the top 10 very often, and he is sitting now in the 7th position in front of Brian Noel. Ali Fonseca has been doing great and making some really impressive passes for himself tonight.
Yeah, Hunting's one of those drivers that we've been watching. I mean, it feels like it's a coin toss. Is he going to have a rough night where he's taken out immediately, or is he going to show some pretty good top 5, top 10 pace, challenging the top 3 just outside? It's 24. It is always exciting.
Tell me about Rhett
in the
Ryan.
middle of all of this, because we know he's going to be giving out some risky moves that sometimes get rewarded and sometimes doesn't. As Brian McCann leads the way, we want to say thank you to some of the amazing sponsors that partnered up the WSSR Cup Series. Thank you so much to GTR Simulators.
One more lap led. There we go.
Racing Grid. Look like one of the pros. Head on over to GTRsimulators.com and check out their compact version racing rig as well as their stationary setups to allow you to feel the comfort of racing at home. Remember to use the promo code WSSR at checkout. Protect that off all purchases $100 or more at GTRsimulators.com. And don't miss out on your chance to upgrade your rig and race like the pros. Jared Talmadge leading the charge up front as Brian McCann no longer can hold steady. Those fresher tires are too strong as Talmadge Forbes are back to the lead position. But let's say got to try to find a way to get around as well as seeing in the middle of the pack. Here's Douglas Newbigging, Shane Tarian, and drivers battling for 10th place all around one another and just constantly side by side. It's tough to make any types of headway when you're just watching a wall in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes though these drivers
Those 4 definitely took 4. Everyone else, it seems like
win. It's
2
more
at
of a
most.
strategy call for themselves, so they're going to take their chance to try to get whatever position they can. So that's why you see a lot of this racing back, the 10th place position. But you got Thomas Green, to Gavin Rogers, Douglas Newbig, and Shane Tarian. There's still some of those drivers that can easily challenge up at the top 5 or more. Almost contact between the 9 and the number 1 machine has been Keeney's low, but they kept off each other and keep it straight. But these guys are trying everything they can to move forward to get back up there in contention with the top 5.
Ben Keeney, who always is trying to find a way to grow as a driver each and every week, joining up with Lucky Ducks a few seasons ago, and
When you do turn 1 like that, I'm even outrunning a new tire.
Watching him join the WSSR Cup Series, he was a driver that was always in last place. Felt like he was always trying to see behind the whole time.
I'm assuming Ollie's new tire, right?
With the strategy differences, he's in the middle of the field. He looks a lot more comfortable.
Based off his pit time, yeah.
Other drivers, and right now,
Those leaders are checking out.
Currently runs a 14th place. He's just looking for opportunities to make this inside row with.
Everything he can. He's been doing really impressive tonight, keeping up with these guys. But on the inside, he is definitely taking a very interesting line compared to what everyone else is doing. He's entering those turns very shallow, how low he is. But, I mean, still, he's making the passes work. He's making that car have the momentum down the straightaways. Looks like he's about to be challenged again by Shane Tarian. And now the 17 of Chris Stitz, they're going to put him in the middle as they go 3 wide into 3. And Jake Nichols is also right there waiting to pounce.
The bounce trying to take an opportunity here for the 98 as Ben Kinney trying to go for one of his best finishes of the season. His best finish so far, 16th at Darlington. Then last week got 17th at the Milwaukee Mile. It'd be great to see him go for a top 15 here this evening. It's up front.
Doing a good 5 more laps or whatever. If a caution comes out, then I get a new tire, and they probably won't take any.
John Forbes and Brian Noel. Lucky Ducks.
Damn, they're running high.
Currently underway as Forbes, Talmadge continue to stay side by side for this lead position and giving us a show as Talmadge keeping the 7.
I'm pretty sure top 2 are teammates.
Wall as they enter the corner.
Talmadge and Forzen, these guys, they seem to have a very equal setting when it comes to skill between the 2 drivers. They are always driving, racing around each other, very equal in speed and are impressive. I feel like Garrett Talmadge has learned quite a bit from John Forbes when they started racing together on the same team. So it has been impressive to watch Garrett Talmadge and his improvement as he's able to challenge John Forbes quite often and even make passes on him.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting for a long time and all the different leagues that we've covered, we really have seen the growth of Jarrett Talmadge and John Forbes. Forbes kind of was the first driver that took the big leaps, went on to dominate the end seasons of the ISRC Truck Series before they went on their hiatus. Then Forbes moved over to the WSSR, where he was able to grab a championship, show some great pace and winning numbers. Jarrett Talmadge was always in the wings, learning, developing, getting faster, and trying to find ways to match this 7 machine. In the last couple of seasons, especially over the offseason, between season 11 and 12, we have seen Jarrett Talmadge take leaps and bounds to now he is a driver that is in the thick of this championship. Now, y'all have to find a way to stop Jake Nichols, but Jarrett Talmadge is right there, tied 4th in points with Ryan Kelly, and is trying his best to go for his first win this season at an oval track that is not a super speedway course. Now, I know Michigan, Richard, it's got super speedway tendencies, but this is a much different beast compared to a Talladega, Daytona, or Atlanta super speedway.
Yeah, it's definitely still a lot different. It is a 2-mile oval still, but the banking on the turns is not as aggressive as that of Talladega. You don't have restrictor plates on these cars, kind of requiring draft to be able to catch up and pass these guys. So, I mean, it's still very different, but also similar in different ways as well. Like when you're going down the straightaways, I mean, in order to really catch the guy in front of you, you do need some drafting, though we have noticed, like we mentioned earlier, these cars don't really have a very strong draft for them. So, but yeah, no, it's great to see Jarrett Talmadge. It'd be great to see him win on a regular super.
They keep doing that. Am I going to be able to catch him here
instead of just super speedway? But he's doing a great job as these two, they are not really driving as a team. They are driving for each, themselves. And it's great to see his teammates still battling it out, but also keeping it nice and clean.
Well, last week didn't give us really a spectacular finish at the end to be categorized in our best finishes of the year. But these 2 drivers were really a part of our latest video that we uploaded here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting of our best finishes of 2025. Jarrett Talmadge had a lot of great super speedway finishes there in the video, as well as we've seen John Ford always giving his
yeah, it's getting a little loose now.
Finishes at the end. And these 2 trying to go for a classic as they continue to go back and forth. But you got to be careful not to throw away this incredible battle we're watching. Richard right there up next to the turn 2. Talmadge almost completely threw it away with slight contact to the 7 machine.
You might be teammates, you might still be racing and putting on a good show and trying to run with yourself, but at the end of the day, you're still teammates. Try not to take each other out, because you would hate to have 2 teammates DNF because you both took each other out. So
this fucks me in.
Still race hard, just keep out of each other, and Talmadge almost ruined that moment, but still they're able to keep it off each other and still stay in the 1-2 position and run that close to each other. Larry Yingling here being challenged by the 77 with Chris Stitz just in front of him.
Going back and forth with all these battles, and that last lap, the fastest driver out on track, the 24 of Ollie Fonseca in 3rd place. He's watching the Victory medals go back and forth. But the 24, he's going to be a driver we got to keep an eye out as they continue to race on. But into pit road, and Brian Noel in the 00 making the green flag pit stop.
Finally getting some green flag pit stops. We'll have to see. It's more than likely going to be tires and fuel for the 00 machine, as he had been out on track for quite a while there, but we'll have to see what he decides to do. He's now in the pit box, getting some right side tires. That'll drop down here in a second. Should move over to the left side, get the 4 tires, get the fuel, get back out on track. Left sides go up as the cars are coming around turn 3 and 4. He will more than likely go a lap down, but that should start the case of green flag pit stops very shortly.
Well, it could, but also it looks like this is a statement pit stop by the 00 of we are going for a 2-stop strategy. We are going to be pitting at the end of round lap 90 to 95 is going to be the range for this 00. Well, the rest of the field, they can still go for another 18 more laps. They have to think about their next pit stop, or they may think of in this race into a 1-stop. Different gambles that are on the line right now. It's an absolute definitive 2-stop call by the 00. Now it's in the hands of the rest of the field. Who wants to react to make sure they stay ahead of the 00, or do they all think this 2-stop is not the call for the end of this race?
Yeah, not very often.
Losing that turn down.
If it's a decision between a 1 or a 2-stop call, do I see the 2-stop ever really truly working out? It's just the amount of tire wear off. It usually plateaus at a certain amount of time, and it's just you can't make up the amount of time it takes to go down pit road, get service done, and get back out on track. There's just a lot of time lost by doing so. The biggest thing about the 2-stop strategy, though, is typically waiting for a good caution to help you out. So he might be doing that, try to make up some time, wait for the caution. You might be able to stay out and utilize the newer tires that you have, but it's usually doesn't pan out for the 2-stop strategy for drivers.
See, Colin will continue to watch and see how the 00's decision works out for himself as the leaders having their fun, going back and forth with the passes between John Forbes and Jared Talmadge. Ollie Fonseca going to be getting to the outside wall. He saw a chance to continue to close in on this gap. He was within a second, but with that brush to the outside wall, might push himself outside of that second window. Gotta be careful with some of these moves, as these have been some spectacular moments of the 4 wide, the 5 wide, and all these passes for the lead. And if you'd like to show off some of your spectacular moments in life with fantasy sports, iRacing, or beyond, head on over to TrophySmack.com. Celebrate your victories with TrophySmack's Wall-Smack collection, as well as so many other great trophies, from championship rings, belts, trophies, and their Wall-Smack product. Awesome metal piece of artwork that you get to design for your own liking. You can have
definitely losing the right front
magnet mounting system or on a stand. When you're purchasing your wall smack from Trophy Smack, remember to use the promo code WSSR.
Are you saying that's a good decision?
Check out for that 10% off. Wall Smack, thank you for Trophy Smack. Thank you so much for all of
Since I have an extra set
sponsors that have joined with us. Again, if you'd like to go check out more from Trophy Smack,
because I only pulled out 2 seconds in front of me.
As Richard, the field continues to race on, and we are officially into the second half of this race. There's been the ups and downs, there's been the cautions, but this
when
is
do we pit?
Spread out we've seen the field be so far.
Yeah, the long run has finally hit. The spread out from the field is happening. This is what a lot of the drivers that look for the long run pace, they try to wait for, because this is when they can slowly start methodically, cutting their way through the field. As we see Jake Nichols kind of doing that now as he gets around Larry Yingling. He's making some moves very slow, very methodically, and not utilizing or not really wasting the resource of his tires very hard now, because these passes are going to come pretty easy.
Vincent behind me is going to make me loose as hell.
Tires.
Yeah, I'm looking at throughout the drivers that just topped off on fuel. Majority of them
I think a few people are trying to make it
top
1-stop.
Brad McCann, the only driver that topped off on fuel, towards Vincent Sora, that are in 4th and 5th position.
New Big Ing and Nichols are clutching in.
How the tires change out. And looking at the pace at this moment, are top 3 kind of in their own zip code compared
to the stands. I'm like 2 laps short.
You see on screen. 7th place, Thomas
hit once.
Back in 4th, Zach Hall, who's up 13th position. There's a lot of drivers slowly just waiting. This is kind of that tough part of these long run races where everyone gets.
I don't think we're going to get to that point, Derek.
Now thinking about the strategy, do I want to
I think we just need to
Very close to the outside wall.
Pit twice.
Further back in the field. You're thinking
between last green flag and checkers.
Maybe you're just thinking, I got to go full board, get everything I can. And is there really?
I don't know how that maths out.
A mindset that changes to I'm trying to salvage this car to get to the pit stop.
Yeah, it's definitely a different mindset when you're up front. You got, you know, a different tire strategy, different pit strategy than everybody else. It's definitely always a mind game between all the drivers on who's going to do what. Because you hate to be the driver that goes first, because sometimes that can bite you in the butt.
I made him lose. He almost wrecked.
But it's always a gamble. It's always a numbers game, trying to figure out what's the best time. You got to balance how much fuel you got left versus how much tire usage you
25. So we went green at 40,
that they're playing
46
while they're driving. They don't usually have
I just got the tire thing.
decisions for them. We as drivers here on iRacing,
we ignore
make
those
decisions, and Booty coming to pit, figure out what we need to adjust prior to coming down pit road.
I got that about 10 laps to go, man.
Come down and get the service done.
I'm kind of scared right now how it's feeling.
Aiming that this is a two-stop race for themselves. Cedric Hunter going to be going into pit road. Zach Hall leaving.
It's about 35 a tank.
Saw there on the apron through 1 and 2. A couple more going to be adding strategy of we got to make our pit stop.
Yeah, I just got it myself.
Give ourselves plenty of time. I feel like when you're going for these two-stop
120 minus
drivers
46,
try to minimize that second stop so much that they give themselves enough time to maximize.
I need to pit now.
Push as aggressively as you can. They put down these fast laps, and we're watching the leaders go back and forth. And this is
yeah, I need to pit now.
Where do you want to place yourself on that strategy call? As Zach,
I'm pitting here. I'm pitting here.
They feel like they make the right call for themselves. The rest of the field are top 18. They still need to make that call. When do you want to make your next pit stop? And how long can you stretch the fuel out? Because we're about 10 laps away from maybe the furthest they can go. Maybe 11 laps from here. We're really getting to that narrow portion of when drivers are forced to pit road.
Yeah, let's get to that narrow side. As Brian McCann, he decides to duck out from the top 5. He's going to come down and get service. It's time for him to get some new tires and some fuel up into the fuel tank. He's going to take 2 tires or 4. That's going to be interesting to watch to see if there's a decision made there on if that's an option that they
a little slow, but I didn't want to slap.
They're at the point now where it's going to be a one stop from here. They pit now. They have one more pit stop the rest of the race, and then they go out the rest of the way. So we'll have to see what Brian McCann does as the right sides go up currently to begin his service.
All right, that's it. Go.
But he is the first one of those top 5 runners to finally come into service. It's going to be 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be yet where they're in that zone of making it on a one stop. Making it from here if you pit, but certainly it's going to be a close one for some to turn this race into a one stop after making a pit stop. Of how do you maximize your fuel and strategy wise of time being lost with these gambles? But Richard, I mean, this is certainly a math game from here on out, and these are the type of races that have kind of cost, we haven't really spoke his name very often because Jake Nichols has been stuck further back. He's currently in 7th position, but this was the type of race that kind of forced Jake Nichols to lose at Kansas. Was a strategy call race, which if you're not careful being John Force, Jared Talmadge, if you're flirting with disaster for too long, you could be throwing this race away with making the wrong strategy call on when you head into pit road.
Tires were 39, 49.
It's so crazy that a race can be lost when your decision to go into pit road was not the right timing, because that could easily be a 1 or 2 second difference from the time it takes you to slow down, get your service done, and get back up to speed.
I got a tire warning, but my tires were 39, 49.
Seconds of gap from you to who was behind you to now trying to catch back up to them. So
you only got one warning.
Road can definitely make or break a race for drivers who are racing up in front.
As they continue to go back and forth here,
I've only got one.
As well. I've seen a few others just going back and forth. That's the 3 of Ryan Kelly involved in that little bit of a squabble, as all the 9th position currently, as we are now within 5 to 8 laps from when pit road will open for some of these drivers to make their stop. Only 4 have gone into pit road so far, being Brian Noel 13 laps ago, Brian McCann, one of the most recent ones, 2 laps ago, Zach Hall 5 laps ago, and Cedric Hunter 4 laps ago. Who will be the next? It's Vincent Sora in the 15. He'll be the next driver to make a stop.
Yeah, Vincent Sora's going to take that dive down that long pit road on the front stretch there. He's going to be getting service done. So now I wonder if this is going to start drawing more and more drivers down pit road to get service done, because, I mean, it just depends on how many laps these guys can run to gain some time. So that's the biggest thing. When these guys come back out on these fresh tires, they're going to be running 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds faster than everybody else on the field. That is time lost for the people that are staying out on longer tires. Now, on the back end, they can make that time up over a longer period of time, but that's always the gamble, because eventually, like I said earlier, those tires will plateau and everybody times again. So right now,
I got 2 tires over the wall right now.
These guys will benefit in the early run, but then they could fall off later to the guys that did just a few laps after.
And then also the gamble.
So I'll be pitting again.
Comes out. That is always lingering when you're one of these first drivers to hit pit
So
road.
it's 4 laps. So I went in about 60.
Please do not product.
We'll just say 67.
Work. And then a yellow comes out. You trap the lap down. Other drivers might have just worn out their tires so much that now they have to just hope that they get another quick caution before they use a set. And that is going to be the tough pill to swallow for some at this race. As a caution here, right in the middle of this pit cycle, 3 drivers are one.
What's 120 minus 67 divided by 2?
To try to utilize their rubber to get back on the lead lap. As John Forbes starting to pull away, and that little bit of fun back and forth between the 7th and the 27 looks to be over. Now some of the closest battles on track is the battle for 5th for our highest position of the closest battle. And Cedric Hunter and Vincent Sora battling for last place is another close one that's happening. The field.
Roger.
We have now entered into the pit zone for drivers. If they were not saving fuel, you could be in danger in the next 3 to 4 laps. Pit road is about to get very busy unless people were in extreme save mode and they somehow can stretch the fuel out even longer.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to watch when the drivers decide to come down pit road and who's all going to come down together, or how they're going to space this all out between each other. Because, I mean, when you have a lot of drivers trying to come down the pit road at the same time, you have different braking zones. People are going to be coming in at different speeds because some people can brake a lot later. This can cause some stack-ups. So every single one of these drivers have got to be careful and respect the guy in front of them when it's their time to come to the pits.
And there you have one of the first drivers up front to now enter pit road here on lap 75. Other drivers looking to enter pit road. Also going to be Ethan Smith following in suit. And this is the pit stop that we've been waiting for. Everyone entering pit road. And these next couple of laps, you gotta make sure you enter cleanly. You don't get caught speeding on entry, exit, slide through your box. There are a multitude of different factors that can just throw your race away with this one stop. And for some, this isn't even the money stop. And you also gotta make sure you don't just clobber the wall like John Forbes just did.
John Forbes hitting the wall coming out of the turn with Cedric Hunter. They're trying to get his lap back naturally. He has got pits. He has been out for 10 laps now after his pit stop. But he is going to get his lap back naturally from John Forbes. So Cedric Hunter back on the lead lap. But John Forbes and Jarrett Talmadge are still going out and staying out on these tires.
I think the most impressive thing is that they've been battling back and forth, and they still have been pulling away from the rest of the field. Now, I know there's been, for some drivers, a little bit of a tire difference, because some did take tires on their last pit stop, some only took fuel. So the tire wear is majorly different for a couple of others compared to our top 2, but this has been very impressive by John Forbes and Jared Talmadge. With all the haymakers they've thrown, to still be some of the fastest out there on track on this older set of tires. Very impressive to see, as one driver is sent to pit road, require damage for himself. It's the one of Gavin Rogers. He has to go to pit road as he's got a required damage flag. Also caught speeding is Ethan Smith. He's got to come back into pit road as he's going to have a hold penalty.
Oh, that is terrifying to have. You got to pay attention to your speed going into pit road. But Gavin Rogers having a meatball being required to come into pits, that is unfortunate for himself, as he's got to try to get service done. Don't know if that was a blown tire or damage to the car, but unfortunate for the defending champion of Gavin Rogers.
I believe it was a blown tire. That's what some of the drivers are saying over the radio, as the majority of the field road as John Ford, Jared Tallmadge, they were side by side for the lead for themselves. Now Douglas Newbigin going to be taking over that lead position with Jake Nichols in second, Chuck Sweeting in third, Ryan Kelly in fourth. And the rest of our top six, Larry Yingling, Thomas Green, still waiting to make their stop, as well as Ben Keeney. Everyone else has entered pit road, has either done at least one stop or not. As we watch the replay and see what happened on this lap before the one went into pit road, and I think it is just a blown tire for himself. There really wasn't any signs that he hit the wall. There was no damage on the outside shell. There
the hell is that car doing?
any damage arrow-wise.
Oh, he's pitting.
Like he exits the corner, and away that front right goes, and he has to go into pit road this time around.
Yeah, he's only in his box for 15.5 seconds also. That's definitely not any damage repair time. That's just getting tires and fuel. So, yep, he just wore out that
I had 4% right
tire
front.
where it had 0%
my
left
God.
in it, which is iRacing's equivalent to having a flat tire in the service. So, unfortunately, Gavin,
At 16, holy cow.
ton of time trying to get back to pit road, because once that tire reaches 0%, there is no grip in it at all. It makes that car extremely hard to turn.
You got us come almost what feels like a complete stop going into corners. Same, another driver who also had a blown tire, Ben Keeney, he's able to get into pit road as his tire went away right when he went into pit road entry. And now we're left with just a couple of drivers that still need to pit. Douglas Newbigin, Jake Nichols, Thomas Green. They're trying to stretch the fuel out. 41 laps has been Douglas Newbigin out there on course on this set in fuel. 40 laps for Nichols and Green. And they have been out there for so long, just trying to find a way to stretch the fuel out. And this is a scary picture for the rest of the field, because no one else got this far. They are now in the window. If they can stretch the fuel out again to turn this stint into a one stop,
I wasn't going to make it
everyone else has to pit
like those other people trying to go for that one stop.
This is impressive work for those three drivers of Nichols, Green, and Newbigin. If they could make this, if they can pit now, and if they save the fuel like they do next, this can really be the deciding factor of whether these guys win the race or not. The downside is they probably still will be going quite a bit slower to save the fuel in order to make it. And, we'll have to see what the difference in time will be on the newer fresh tires for those guys. But impressive work for those guys, going 42, 41 laps, 43 laps now for Douglas.
43 for Douglas?
That is impressive. If they went 41, 42, they might actually
Jake Nichols,
pull it off.
Thomas Green,
We go green.
well into pit road. And Douglas is clutching. He's saving his fuel in the 77. Might be in a margin where he doesn't even have to just go full bore and be okay.
Yeah, just impressive work from Douglas Newbigin, clutching, being able to go 43 laps. 43 in the fuel tank. It does look like he is going to make that left-hand turn to come down into pit road now, though. But impressive work from Douglas Newbigin, and that could potentially, as long as he gets in clean and out clean, that can make the difference of whether he can win this race or whether it's going to be someone else on fresher tires to do so.
And McCann expected to be the new leader once getting by the 77, who pitted 15 laps ago. The two drivers that were bickering back and forth and giving us such a great show, John Forbes, Jared Tallmadge, they are back in 7th and 8th place, going to be now 6th and 7th. Well, they are mired about 6 seconds away from Brian McCann, still trying to run down. They've got a faster car. They're running about a half second.
What lap am I aiming for, Derek? 95-ish?
Laps, the issues of having traffic around, not as great as it was during that last restart. As they continue to race on for us, we will step away. Green flag pit stop.
The pit stop is worth about a full track, though. That's the problem.
Majority of the field still has one more stop for the races.
So if they're saving and not losing a full
should be good
track,
to the end. We'll find
I guess they would have to.
whose strategy is the better one to take
I don't know. I
us
can't
to
think
the
right
end.
now.
As we will take a quick commercial break. It's been a pleasure to give you the call of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. Race 8 here in Michigan. We'll be back after this as we got more racing action and one more green flag pit stop to go.
Fueling up now should get us to the finish.
I was hoping he'd stay low.
Got one inside. Stay high. There you go, man. Keep digging. Still there? Hold the line. Clear low, clear low.
the attack.
Messed that turn up. Vincent caught me by a 10th there. Wow, Vincent's running me down. Oh, he's got 4 lap better tires than me too. Uh-oh. Guess I'll pit next lap.
I'm putting here, Ollie.
Where did you pit?
He pit right with me, didn't he?
Pit box in 10,
He wants on the same tire strategy.
5. Car 7 has taken the lead.
And
3,
we are
1.
back, ladies and
Right here.
gentlemen, as pit stops are underway. You are watching the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs, Season 12, Race 8 at Michigan. We've got 3 drivers attempting to take this race to the end with no more pit stops. The rest of the field, they still need to make a pit stop right here, right now, as Brian McCann got caught by Sora. They both decided to head into pit road. And now the race is left in the hands of John Force, Jared Talmadge to have to maximize these tires, or they decide to hit pit road. We'll find out as the race continues on here on Regional Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Richard.
Didn't go to lap down, so that's good.
Production in the background is Robert Moyer Jr. And Richard, I mean, this is kind of a wait and see. Both people are ending out. Majority of the field still needs to pit. Then you've got Douglas Newbegin, Jake Nichols, and Thomas Green. They should be, in quotations, good on fuel to take it to the end of this race. This is.
And I got him behind me, so that's good.
Who's going to take this thing? As you're watching drivers being side by side, racing for the lead of the 7 and 27.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of a sit, wait, see what strategy kind of pans out, because these drivers are all spread out for the most part. Got a small battles here and there, but not a lot of heavy, aggressive driving at the moment. Everyone's kind of running their race and going with whatever strategy.
And I got clean air. So I guess that was about best case scenario there.
Strategy pays off, and who's going to be the one on top at the end of this? We've had a few pit stops happen not too long ago.
Certainly did have a few pit stops from 11th on back, where drivers have made their final stops of
I just
the day.
got to not wear my tires out here.
Ryan Noel, Shane Terry,
And stay in front of him.
Rogers, all making their stops. I take that back. Actually, Kevin Rogers and Jan Van Leer.
Let me check my tires, see how I was doing last stint.
Cedric Hunter has made his final pit stop.
62.71. Not
Mir,
terrible.
McKinney, and Ethan Smith. All those 3 as well still making the stop, as they're all still a lap down. So there's a couple of drivers where their race just kind of fell apart overall. But
He's taking the wrong line.
Up front, they have been the entertainment with some of the action in the middle as well. As you can see, the 00 in the 9.
You don't like my dirty air.
Muscle their way by our leaders and stay on the lead lap. And here we go. The teammates head into pit road. Jan Van Leer is going to be following in suit as well. The final pit stops for a couple of more front runners is on the way as Ollie Fonseca stays out and trying to get that lap lead and bonus point for the 24.
Great work for Ollie Fonseca. Going to get that bonus point for leading the lap for the number 24 machine, but he's still got to, again, make his pit stop. He's been out for 2 laps. He's got to worry about his fuel still, and he's got to see what the strategy call is going to be to make it the rest of the way. But Ollie doing a great job getting that bonus point while the teammates decided to pull in and pit, who were right ahead of him.
And this is that odd scenario of, do you have enough time to run down your competition? Like we were talking about before, the last pit stops really started up, was when you want these strategy calls of a 1-stop or a 2-stop. When you're going for the 2-stop, you have to run so fast that you can take all of that time back of those that are making the 1-stop, and not getting enough time by coming into pit road. The rest
When you
of the
get to
field,
be McCann, what lane
down
do
the
you want?
77, the 73,
For the top side.
41. That's your competition. Can you catch up to them? And right now, Brian McCann.
Are you fuel saving?
Lingering. Still over about 17 seconds back from Douglas Newbegin. We're still about 20 seconds, 20 laps to go.
I'm catching Ollie by 1.1 second.
Continue to run down that 77, but like you said, Richard, the plateau factor, it's going to be close for those that are attempting to run down those drivers that are good on fuel.
Yeah, I mean, as a driver, it's so hard to decide on when you need to come.
Saving the way I am, I will make it.
You know,
Green in front of me, but a few laps after, so he should be good to go.
Tires and be able to just
But
run
he is
down.
going my pace right
I
now.
think the one saving grace of these guys that are running later is they might attempt a 2-tire stop. That will reduce the amount of time they're on pit road by a good 3, 4, 5 seconds. And that could be the difference on what can make, give them the position they need.
John Forbes has got the
it's
four
gonna be
lap
interesting to
advantage
see
on me.
which drivers decide they take a two-tire stop to
So
maintain
he's going to be
track position
on my bumper
But I
before
think
too
it
long.
would work if they could just go. Actually, right about now is when you probably want to pit for the two-tire strategy.
Curious about who's willing to take that gamble. There's three drivers that have already taken that gamble. John Forbes runs in 10th place. Shane Terrian in 11th, as Jarrett Talmadge in 13th. All taking the gamble of two tires. Is it enough to cut the time down to catch up to Douglas Newbigg and Jake?
John take two tires?
Thomas Green, which those drivers continue to go back and forth.
Yeah, he may have taken two.
3 of Jake Nichols trying to grab his 5th win of the season. Can he get it done as he's attempting to make the pass on Douglas Newbigg? The way he's racing, it's practically like he knows he's good on fuel, while Douglas Newbigg has just been floating around, kind of just running his own race.
Yeah, we need to get some heat into these. I mean, need to wear these down some for my extra set to come into play.
Might not think he can take it, but Jake Nichols is able to get around. And based on numbers, Jake Nichols, I think, should be able to make this by running as fast as he possibly can, because it's only got 18 laps left of the race.
I'll go low.
He's only been out there for 20 laps. That is right at the edge of the fuel run. So Jake Nichols could very well potentially make it the rest of this race without letting any steam out.
He's going to continue to muscle his way forward, but we still wait. Plenty of other drivers that need to pit. Ollie Fonseca, Ryan Kelly, as well as Chuck Sweeting still need to pit, as well as Larry Yingling in 8th place. Those drivers that are up front inside of our top 10 are not okay on fuel. They still need to pit before this race is over. And for those that are staying out, I mean, they can stay out for another 10 laps. But the reason is, instead of, I'm going to go into the pits, maximize my tires, hope that I gain all this time back, it's I'm going to stay out and hope and pray. Please come out to save my race.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers, they are definitely hoping for that late race caution. But again, with the amount of spread out that these guys have, the odds of that happening is going to be in the hands of just a driver making one small mistake versus just the stack up of other cars. So, I mean, the odds of a caution coming out is pretty small. You can't really be betting on that right now. Right now, you're just kind of hoping for one if you're in a position where you need one. And though he's trying to make his way back up, he wants to be able to be the first driver to, or not the first driver, but like to be able to go from starting in the pole and winning the race. He wants to have that little chip on his shoulder.
And we've seen a lot of fluidity in the weather as well. Let's take a look at the weather so far in this race. We saw at one moment the track temperature was up to 105 degrees. It was even higher than that at one moment. It's now dropped to 103 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temp. It's a degree higher than it was at the start of the race at 102. The wind has been blowing. Was at 5 miles per hour. It's climbed up to almost 11 to 12 at times. And it continues to go back and forth, pushing in that southwest, this west direction. And it's just been an up and down evening. Speaking of up and down, it's here tonight if you're just joining us, as we've also had plenty of different lead changes with all the different pit stop strategies to allow drivers to take the lead. It's been a lot of searching for the field, and currently Brian McCann, he was searching for victory for the 8 machine. He got the pole, but the stats were not on his side. No pole here at Michigan in the WSSR Cup Series, and it's looking like that stat might hold once again, as Ollie Fonseca still out there on course. But Richard, it's really the numbers game. It just looks like a lot of these guys are running out of time to catch up to Douglas.
I'm short, not like 5 laps short.
But man, are
they
into caution their best to cut down on this difference.
Yeah, they're doing everything they possibly can, but I mean, it does look like it's going to be a Jake Nichols Douglas Newbigging fight for the finish. I mean, it just depends on how much speed they want to give up. I mean, they're going just over 6/10 faster than, or slower than Brian McCann right now. He's doing a good job running faster laps currently, but it's just a matter of time. He's 20 seconds behind the leader, so 13. So really about 12 or 13 behind Nichols and Newbigging. It's very possible he could catch him near the end of this run.
Yeah, but again, like I said, he's only gaining in about 7 to
no grip up here.
a lap. That math does not add up to where he will be even close to get to their bumper. He'll still be about 3 to 4 seconds off of Nichols and Newbigging. So you got to hope that there's a little bit of extra pace in there, as well as John Forbes. He looks to now be trying to become the new lead driver of those that are put on fewer tires that have pitted twice under this green flag run. And the 7 machine attempting to get by the 8, and it looks like he will do so. Battling for 6th place. Also Vincent Sora, Thomas Green. They're all attempting to just do the best that they can. Thomas Green is kind of running out of time to try to keep with pace of the front runners, but the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th is kind of a bizarre one that I'm watching, Richard, because these drivers are battling for position, yes, but they're also the lead group that are trying to run down Nichols, Newbigging. You think that they know that they're racing the wrong guys. You gotta get in line, work together, catch up to Nichols and Newbigging.
Oh shit!
Race like this, you're throwing any chance away to win this race, and you're battling for maybe 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You're 3 out of caution as McCann and Forbes get into one another. Sora goes low as they head into 3. They'll stay 3 wide. Sora is clear, and now the 15. He's got to make the charge, but Forbes is still lingering on.
It was almost a scary situation. It kind of looked like Brian McCann just drove up into the door of Vincent.
Sucked me right into him.
Number 7 of John Forbes. John Forbes then gives a shot to Vincent Sora out of the turn there. These guys are very aggressive with each other right now. And, you know, you're saying they need to get in line and chase down Nichols and Newbigging, but you also said that there is not enough time for them to be able
It's amazing we didn't wreck there.
So right now, they are racing for every position, every point that they could possibly get, and these are the 3 that they have to race against.
And if you're Ollie Fonseca, Ryan Kelly, Chuck Sweeting, I mean, that was the caution you were hoping for, but they didn't get sideways enough with oncoming traffic. They kept it straight, and now we continue to stay green flag racing. 10 laps to go. Fonseca, Kelly, also Chuck Sweeting. They have only about 3-4 laps before they're forced to pit road. The rest of the field are good on fuel and tires, and it is just a race to the end. Nichols looks to be the favorite currently. Douglas Newbigging's really got nothing under the tires. He is just floundering back and losing time.
Is John Forbes doing that on 2 tires? That's pretty impressive if he
of the
is.
season. And the rest of the field's going to be scratching their head thinking,
I think he is.
Probably should have been our race to win with how dominant that this 70, the way that everyone else looked dominant. The 73 was in the middle of the pack all race long.
Middle of the pack all along, but he was biding his time.
He's doing that high-low thing like I am, but he's exaggerating it.
That fuel tank to its
Because it's loose on exit. That's where he's picking up at.
Got out of it, allowing for those extra long run to be able to pit a lot later and narrow this run down to just a 1-stop, strategy for him. He didn't have to pit again for fuel. He should be able to make it the rest of the way without having to lose a lot of ground. So Nichols played the smart game, not necessarily.
So he figured out the trick,
and it's about to pay off for him.
And then did it better than I did.
There's not a lot of close battles happening right now. The battle for 6 is probably one of the closer ones. You've got John Forbes, Vincent Sora, Brian McCann that are within a second of one another. And then
see, it just grips up there.
On track is for 14th. Kristen
right at the end, it gets
Hall
loose, but
with better tires, expected to get by Hall and just continue to motor his way forward. And then it's a waiting game. Fuel, who can stretch it? When do you see these final 3 drivers make their final pit stop? In a waiting game of Nichols, did he save enough fuel?
It don't work so well in 3 and 4.
Douglas Newbigging, I mean, he's still slowing down quite a bit. I'm kind of seeing this 77 at this current time, and the way he's racing around this track, it almost looks like maybe he tried to save fuel, even though I thought maybe he was going to be good.
Yeah, he's trying to save fuel. It looks like Newbigging not thinking he's going to be able to make it. Unfortunate to see the strategy call not playing out the way he was hoping, but Jake Nichols not really losing any time. He's actually gained a little bit from earlier, so he is still full bore, ready to get this race over with as he crosses the line now with 5 laps to go for Jake before he scores himself his 5th.
Are they going to make it on fuel?
And so you can draw more drivers. Going to get past Chuck Sweeting. is going to get passed now by John Forbes as well by Vincent Sora. The difference now is less than 13 seconds between John Forbes and Jake Nichols. It's less than 10 seconds, the difference between Douglas Newbegin and John Forbes. And with 6 laps to go, those numbers are just not adding up properly. Ali Fonseca really in no man's zone, where we don't know if he really has enough fuel to continue going on. Ryan Kelly doesn't. He is forced to pit road. Gavin Rogers forced to pit road. And it's just kind of the last laps, the last two.
Can I get a top 5 here?
Staying out and banking on a caution.
Oh, I'm in 6.
They need it now. Otherwise, you hand the race over to Jake Nichols, your points leader for this season. And
Jake Nichols going to get another one.
Looked at entering this season as the.
Can Ollie outrun him?
That he's the favorite, even in a fuel mileage race. You know, we talked about the strength at short tracks. The intermediate tracks, the super speedways, might be the only racetrack in style of racing that we haven't seen Nichols get a win in. Got a feeling that this guy's going to be the one to watch out for. Ali Fonseca into pit road. He relinquishes the lead of the 73. Now the question is, when will Jake Nichols win at a super speedway? Because he is winning every other type of track. And now, with just 4 laps to go, it's a waiting game of Nick, unless the yellow flag comes out.
Just under 4 laps to go for Jake Nichols. You saw Douglas Newbegin in the back there, got a little high into the wall and lost a lot of ground, had to go really low. But, you know, it's the question.
He put it on 82.
Nichols win a super speedway, but it's also who.
Oh, yeah, he's good by 2 laps.
Him a lot closer near the end of these races because Jake has just showed up and has dominated every single part of here. And it's just showing his amount of skill and his knowledge he has on this kind of racing.
This 73 has just been on a historic run for himself, but talking about history, we might see a streak end this evening. Ryan Kelly was there with Vincent Sora and Jake Nichols on a streak of every race finishing in the top 10. Well, the 3 better get going quickly because the top 10 is a little bit too far out of his reach, and it looks like that streak could come to an end for the 3, leaving us just 2 drivers that have finished in the top 10 for every race, being Jake Nichols and Vincent Sora. Sora, 0 wins.
Me and Vincent about to race here.
Looking for win number 5 of the season.
For win number 5, Sora still trying to search for that first win of the season, and unfortunate to see Ryan Kelly drop out of that top in every race so far this season as well. So unfortunate for himself, but again, Jake Nichols just putting on a clinic yet again at a larger style speedway, intermediate style track, and just showing that he not only has speed to win, he's got the strategy call and the brain and the math to know when he can make it last as he gets ready to take the white flag.
It is your Sim Precision Prince white flag for the 73 of Jake Nichols. You're 1 more lap to go. Head on over to simprecisionprince.shop to see what 3D modeled one-of-a-kind pieces you can get from racing to other passion projects.
Damn it.
Head on over to
simprecisionprince.shop
and use the promo code WSSR for 10% on any purchase over $50. Thank you so much to all the amazing sponsors and all those that joined with us here tonight.
Thank you, Derek.
Because Jake Nichols continues on with his winning ways.
I thought I could wheel that outside line. I knew he was going to dive
of race number
and try to come up on me.
The 73 of Jake Nichols in his 5th of the season.
Top 5. We'll take it.
Fantastic run from Jake Nichols, but also.
And then we're going to see what car they switch this thing to.
Newbegin, he's able to make the fuel mileage stretch as well as he takes home 2nd place tonight. Douglas has got a great
Jake won another one.
The season started for himself as
barely squeezed the top 10.
Him up into the playoffs. Great run for Nichols. Great run for
P15.
The drivers come and take the checkered flag.
And no Lucky Duck Motorsports, John Peel, they're all excited for this. It is a 1, 2, 3 finish for Lucky Ducks for themselves. Even go the listing of how many Lucky Duck drivers are in the top 10.
Are you saving the entire run there?
Pretty big number.
Yep.
You also want to give kudos to Thomas Green. He found a way to save the fuel as this thing is done.
Trying to match your guys' pace.
I'm out.
Fuel,
See y'all next
finish line. Congratulations to the 73 machine. It's a picture.